If you've ever rocked up to the first tee, you're feeling stiff and rigid, and you can't hit that first shot ever how you dream of it coming off, well then this is the video for you, because a big cause of this could be your warm-up. So with special guest Hugh Marr, European Tour champion Todd Clements, and performance coach Rod Goldup, we're going to show you 3 main exercises that you can use next time you're about to go out and play that could completely transform your game of golf. Let's get stuck in. So just there, Hugh, we were looking at professional golfer working through an exercise to prep and prime his body for the rest of his training session. How often do we get the recreational golfer complain about, oh, maybe I can't do this because of physical limitations and mobility? But we just saw Todd, who's a fit athlete himself, work through a series of drills and exercises, 3 different moves there, which I'd love for you to explain to everyone here about what he was actually achieving and why he's doing it.
Okay, so that's Todd Clements, who plays on the European Tour. He's working with Rob Goldup, who's, I think, the best golf trainer there is out there. Rob works with Francesco Molinari, Ollie Wilson, Torbjörn Olsen, and Rob and I have worked together with a number of players over the years. So basically, Todd he's trained this morning, about a 45-minute drive from the gym to the range here. And this is what Rob calls calibrating. So basically, before he's hitting shots, he's going to go through some basic mobilization to get his body set to move. So he's basically now able to move at full speed with the first swing if he wants to. The areas that we're focusing there, thoracic rotation and extension, obviously very key components in the golf swing, hip mobility and hamstring. Okay. And you saw how long that took, 3 minutes maybe? Yeah. Something that everyone can do, but a really simple way of just getting the body prepped to move, rather than bacon roll, gin and tonic, walk to the first tee, see what happens.
99% of the golfing population, right? So let's go through those 3 movements and look at some swing characteristics that you'll see with players on the first tee, which if they just spent a few minutes warming up, let's say 3 minutes, adding in a little bit of mobility to these sections, they could actually hit a great first tee shot rather than be reloading for 3 off the first tee, right?
So basically your challenge is that walking onto the first tee and trying to move at a decent speed when you're stone cold, and that's not being an athlete in the first place. You're basically challenging your neural system. You're challenging your coordination, because what you've seen there, that requires coordination. Yeah. Now, if you think you're moving at a golf club at, say, 100 miles an hour, and you've got a sweet spot this big and a golf ball this big, you've got to be pretty coordinated to execute that. Correct. So this isn't just warming the body up, it's also warming the neural system up. Yeah. So ability to respond to the golf ball is heightened.
It's a coffee for the body.
Coffee for the body, I like that. I'm going to use that. And it's something where I see a lot of players in the first tee making a very stiff swing where they are, you'd say they've lost their balance. Oh yeah. They haven't lost their balance. The body's just not warm enough.
It's not ready. It's not ready.
No, correct. They've just run out of range of motion and fallen over. That's a great way of guarding against it.
So let's start off with T-spine mobility. Yep. Right? So let's say a player who is struggling with this move here. So their chest stays facing down to the ground too long. They would generally have a low point, which is too far behind. And this opening up that we saw there, which even just at address, getting that right hand reaching behind you, I can feel this big old stretch up through this section of my body. And for yourself and myself and Todd, play golf our whole life. But even if we are not aware of this, first shot today, I reckon I hit 3 inches behind the golf ball because I've just been traveling a lot, sitting in an Uber, and then my body just wasn't responding as well.
And what you've demonstrated there basically highlights the 3-dimensional movement of the golf swing, right? Yeah, correct. So we've watched Todd warm up extension. We've watched him warm up thoracic rotation. But for both of those to have a chance of functioning, you've got to get the hip joints going as well.
Yeah, correct. So, and that one there was more of this movement of feeling like it's engaged through the glutes.
Engaging glutes, again, working on T-spine extension, lengthening out the hip flexor, all components to give more range of movement.
Yeah, and it's important for allowing, from that position, the trail hip to move higher in the backswing, this trail leg to lengthen, because if we get really tight through this section, going to stay too flexed through that trail leg, we're more likely to shift laterally off the golf ball.
Again, retaining that stability. Again, if you're looking at what they've done there, a lot of the exercises are challenging balance. Yeah. So if you're going to rotate around a stable point, having the ability to balance and move is pretty desirable.
Yeah, and the last one was the hamstrings, right?
Yep.
And we see a lot of players get into a poor posture position of the dress. We just did a video talking about adding in some simple setup adjustments to have the domino effect of a positive motion. So if we look at a dress, if I've got very tight hamstrings, what would we see demonstrated with the player's posture?
Probably see too much knee flex, pelvis gets a little bit too tucked underneath. Now, both of those are handbrakes to getting the pelvis rotating.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Big time. Now, if the pelvis doesn't rotate, chances of rotating through thoracic become slim. Chances of extending through thoracic become slim.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is that domino effect.
It is just a big sliding scale from the
Absolutely,
bottom up.
yeah.
So the player who is pelvis tucked under, too much knee flex, staying down in flexion, not extending their thoracic, they're the ones that could definitely benefit from doing some
100%,
exercise.
which is basically 90% of the male population over 50.
Yeah. Take note.